What if I told you that the way you drink your morning coffee could be quietly raising your blood sugar before breakfast even begins? And worse, what if the habit you believe is harmless is actually making your diabetes harder to control every single morning? If you're over 60 and living with high blood sugar, fatigue, stubborn morning glucose numbers, or that frustrating feeling of I'm doing everything right, but nothing changes, this conversation may change the way you think about coffee forever. Because today, I'm going to show you the 5 biggest coffee mistakes seniors with diabetes make, ranked from the least damaging to the one that quietly causes the most blood sugar chaos. And I'll tell you this now, the number one mistake surprises almost everyone I work with. If we haven't met before, I'm Dr. Sterling Foster, a senior health specialist with over 27 years of experience helping adults over 60 navigate blood sugar problems, fatigue, metabolic slowdowns, and those confusing health surprises that seem to appear overnight. And one thing I've learned after helping thousands of patients is this: most seniors are not failing. They're simply following advice that sounds healthy, but doesn't match what their body needs after 60, especially in the morning, because after 60, your metabolism changes. Your hormone response changes. Even how your body handles coffee changes. And nobody really explains that. Maybe this sounds familiar. You wake up, you try to be responsible, you skip the sugar, you drink black coffee, you take your medication, you even try to eat better than you used to. But somehow, your morning blood sugar still comes back high. You feel tired, fog, frustrated, and deep down, there's this quiet fear. What if this keeps getting worse? I hear that fear all the time. Not because people are careless, but because diabetes can feel unfair, especially when you're trying. Before we talk about the mistakes, there's something almost no one explains properly. Coffee is not just coffee. And understanding this may finally explain why some people swear coffee helps their blood sugar, while others say it completely wrecks it. Because, strangely enough, both can be true. Most people think coffee is one ingredient. It isn't. Think of coffee like a small chemical team working inside your body. Some players help you. Others can quietly work against you. 2 matter most. The first is caffeine. You already know caffeine wakes you up. But inside a diabetic body, caffeine can also trigger stress hormones like cortisol. And cortisol tells your liver something important. Release emergency sugar. Imagine your liver like a sugar storage room. Caffeine knocks on the door and says, "We may need energy. Open it up." Suddenly, extra glucose enters your bloodstream before breakfast even starts. But here's where things get confusing. Coffee also contains something called chlorogenic acid. And this compound actually helps slow how fast sugar enters your bloodstream. So now you've got 2 forces happening at once. One pushing sugar up, one helping slow it down. Same cup, different effects. And what determines which side wins? How much coffee you drink, when you drink it, what you drink it with. And that brings me to mistake number 5. But first, let me tell you about someone I'll never forget. Barbara was 72, retired librarian, very disciplined, the kind of person who wrote everything down, her meals, her medication, her walking routine. Yet every morning her blood sugar seemed stubborn, higher than expected, no matter what she changed. One day she looked at me and said, "Dr. Foster, I honestly feel like my body stopped listening to me." And I could hear the exhaustion in her voice. Not physical exhaustion, emotional exhaustion. The kind that comes when you're trying hard but still losing ground. So I asked her something simple. Walk me through your mornings. And within 2 minutes, I spotted 3 silent mistakes. The first one, most people never think about it. Decision cinque, how you brew your coffee. I know this sounds small, but stay with me. Because if you're over 60, cholesterol and blood sugar often travel together. And your brewing method matters more than most people realize. Coffee contains natural oily compounds. Some brewing styles trap them. Others don't. Think of a paper coffee filter like a gatekeeper. It lets flavor through, but catches compounds that may be harder on your cholesterol. French press, most of those oils pass straight through. Unfiltered coffee may not dramatically spike glucose, but for seniors already watching heart health, cholesterol, and circulation, this matters. And if you have diabetes, heart protection matters even more. Barbara loved her French press. Every morning, 3 strong cups. We switched her to filtered coffee. No dramatic lifestyle overhaul, just one small adjustment. 6 weeks later, her cholesterol numbers improved slightly, but more importantly, she finally felt like she had control again, because small wins matter, especially after 60. And what you put inside the coffee? That's where mistake number 4 starts becoming dangerous. Decision quattro, what you add to your coffee. Let me say something gently. Some people think they're drinking coffee, but what they're really drinking is dessert wearing a coffee costume, flavored creamers, sweet syrups, artificial flavor shots, hidden sugars. These things add up fast, especially before breakfast. Because liquid sugar enters your bloodstream quickly, fast, quietly, and without much warning. One patient of mine, Richard, 68, genuinely believed he drank healthy coffee. No donuts, no soda, no candy. But every morning, 3 large coffees loaded with flavored creamer. When we calculated it together, he was unknowingly drinking more sugar than a soft drink before 9 a.m. And he had no idea. That's the tricky part. It doesn't feel unhealthy. It feels harmless. If this sounds familiar, tell me honestly in the comments, how do you drink your coffee? Black, cream, sweetener, or flavored creamer? Because sometimes awareness is where real change begins. And decision number 3, this may be the biggest mistake most seniors make without realizing it. How much coffee you're actually drinking. Decision tray. How much coffee is too much? Now this next mistake surprises almost everyone. Because for years, many seniors have believed coffee is healthy, so more must be better. But after 60, especially with diabetes, that logic can quietly backfire. Because when it comes to caffeine, there's a tipping point. Think of it like watering a garden. A little water helps. Too much? The roots struggle. Coffee works the same way. In smaller amounts, coffee contains compounds that may support metabolism over time. But too much caffeine in a diabetic body can push stress hormones higher, which means more glucose released from the liver. And for some people, that means higher numbers before lunch even starts. I saw this happen with Douglas, age 69, retired electrician, hard worker his entire life, strong man, the type who never complained, but every morning, 4 large mugs of strong coffee before breakfast. By 11 a.m., he'd feel shaky, exhausted, hungry again, and frustrated because his blood sugar numbers made no sense. He finally said to me, "Doctor, I feel like my body changed overnight." Truth is, it hadn't changed overnight. Small habits had slowly piled up. We made one realistic adjustment. No dramatic diet. No I'm possible restrictions. We cut him from 4 cups to 3. That was it. 2 cups. Within several weeks, his morning numbers became steadier. Energy improved. And maybe most importantly, he stopped feeling like his body was working against him. Because after 60, sustainable wins matter more than perfect habits. For most seniors with diabetes, 1 to 2 cups is usually a much safer range than 3 or 4 strong cups before noon. And here's what matters even more than the amount: when you drink it. Because this next mistake, honestly, this may be the one quietly causing the most morning blood sugar chaos. Decision 2, drinking coffee before food. Let me ask you something. Do you wake up, walk straight to the kitchen, and drink coffee before eating anything? If you do, you are not alone. Millions of people do this every single morning. But after 60, especially with diabetes, your body responds differently. Here's why. Between about 3 a.m. and 7 a.m., your body naturally releases hormones designed to wake you up. Think of it like your internal morning alarm clock. Your liver starts releasing stored glucose to prepare your body for the day. In healthy metabolism, insulin balances everything. But with diabetes, that process becomes slower. So blood sugar can already be elevated before breakfast even begins. Now imagine pouring caffeine into that system. It's like adding extra fuel to an engine already running. This is where Helen, age 73, changed everything. Helen was disciplined. Morning walks, healthy meals, medication always on time. Yet every morning, her blood sugar frustrated her, no matter how hard she tried. When I asked about her routine, she smiled and said, "Coffee first, doctor. Always coffee first. 3 cups, empty stomach, every day. No breakfast until almost 9. She thought skipping food was helping. But her body was under stress all morning. So we changed one thing. Simple. Eat first. Coffee second. Even something small. Eggs. Greek yogurt. A handful of nuts. Something with protein. Then coffee 15-20 minutes later. 4 weeks later, her fasting numbers improved. But something else surprised her. She said, "I feel calmer in the mornings. Less shaky, less anxious, less drained." Because food created a buffer. And this leads to the most important decision of all. The one almost nobody talks about. And if you understand this one, coffee may stop feeling like the enemy. Decision uno, regular or decaf. Now before you roll your eyes, stay with me. Because I'm not asking you to give up coffee. I would never say that lightly. I know for many people over 60, coffee is comfort, routine, a peaceful moment before the day begins. This is not about punishment. It's about strategy. Remember what I explained earlier? Coffee contains both helpful compounds and caffeine. What if you could keep many of the benefits without getting the strongest blood sugar disruption? That's where decaf becomes interesting. Not perfect, not magic, but useful. For many seniors, decaf in the early morning works surprisingly well, especially with breakfast. Then, if you still love regular coffee, save 1 regular cup for later in the morning, after food, after medication, after your body has settled. This tiny timing shift can make a meaningful difference. One patient, Frank, age 67, laughed when I suggested it. Decaf? That tastes like disappointment. That's what he told me. 3 weeks later, he came back smiling. Doctor, my numbers actually look better. But more importantly, he stopped crashing before lunch. That afternoon fatigue, less severe. Brain fog, improved. And no, this isn't about perfection. Even small changes count. 3 dangerous combinations to avoid. Let me quickly warn you about 3 combinations I see seniors struggle with all the time. Number 1, coffee plus sugary breakfast, toast, jam, pastries, sweet cereal, juice. That combination can stack sugar quickly. especially if caffeine enters first. Try protein instead. Eggs, Greek yogurt, vegetables. Protein slows things down. Number 2, coffee plus skipping breakfast. This one quietly keeps your body stressed. You feel alert briefly, then tired, hungry, fog, and blood sugar may become harder to control. Number 3, coffee plus poor sleep. Nobody talks about this enough. Bad sleep raises stress hormones. Stress hormones affect blood sugar. Then extra caffeine the next morning pushes the cycle even harder. Sometimes the problem isn't just coffee. It's the pattern, your simple morning action plan. Starting tomorrow morning. Step 1, wake up and hydrate. Step 2, take medication exactly as prescribed. Step 3, eat something with protein. Step 4, coffee after food. Preferably 1 cup first. Step 5, limit total coffee. Keep it reasonable, simple, not extreme, not complicated. Small improvements repeated daily become powerful after 60. If nobody has told you this lately, you are not failing. Your body is changing. And understanding those changes gives you power, real power. Because healthy aging is not about perfection. It's about making smarter decisions consistently. And if today changed the way you think about coffee, tell me in the comments, coffee smarter. I genuinely want to know what part surprised you most. And if someone you love struggles with diabetes or stubborn morning blood sugar, share this with them. It may help more than you realize. And if staying independent, energetic, and healthy after 60 matters to you, subscribe. I'd love to continue learning together. Because in the next video, I want to show you the breakfast foods seniors think are healthy, but may quietly spike blood sugar the fastest.